We've been working for our camper for several years now, and we're going to share our top 5 tips, which we learned over time, to solve things to make working from our camper not just work for us, but work great. We're also going to share a bit about our story and how we designed this into our lives. And stick around for the last tip because it's the surprising game changer that unlocked it all for us. Tip number 1 is I use a 4K display instead of multiple monitors. I used to use multiple monitors, that way I can have multiple things that I'm focusing on. This is a 15.6 inch traditional 1080p monitor, more on this guy in a little bit, and a 4K display has 4 times as many pixels as a 1080p display. In terms of square inches or real estate to work with, it has 8 times as many square inches. So I have it set up to where I have multiple different virtual areas that are like virtual monitors. So I can have something on the left side, something on the right side, something on the upper part, something on the bottom part. I believe this makes me way more productive and is way easier to set up every time we move.
So another great thing about this is it's a 4K monitor for work, but we can also watch our YouTube videos or take it outside and watch football with the family. The other great thing is it's super light, so it's less than 15 pounds. I can carry it by myself in and out of the camper. Tip number 2 is this super lightweight portable monitor. It weighs 1.7 pounds, so it's easy to just put in a backpack, take with you. The other great thing about it is there's no power cord. It only has one cord that goes directly to my laptop, and it automatically recognizes it either on a Windows or a Mac. So it's really great. I can be working on 2 different things at the same time. It's also super easy. If I want to, I can just unplug it just like this. It has a protective case and I can take it outside and go wherever I want.
And tip number 3 is virtual backgrounds. And as you can tell, I'm still at home. Or am I? I'm in the camper. So by using that background, I can give my coworkers a familiar background so that it's not a distraction to them that my location's changing. I just give them a consistent experience every time that they talk to me. And then one more neat tip related to virtual backgrounds. With AI, you can just type in that you want to make a virtual background and you can make anything that you can imagine. In this case, I just used ChatGPT and it said, give me a Zoom background for an office in the middle of a rainforest. And this is what I got. With anything you can imagine, you can make a virtual background for.
Before we share the last 2 tips, which is what really made all of this possible, we want to share a little bit about our background and our story.
Both of us have been daydreaming for a long time about traveling a lot someday, and probably from an RV, but our lifestyle at the time didn't allow for it. And just focusing on what's important to us allowed us to design a lifestyle that made it possible by making it so that we can work from anywhere, so that we can work from the camper and be able to still have the adventures that we want to have. So we're not full-time RVers on one side of the spectrum, but we're also not just weekenders on the other side of the spectrum. Right. By being able to work from anywhere, we can take off for a week or 2 and work from there, or we can go on trips for four-day weekends on a regular basis. And that allows us to work on Thursdays and Fridays, and then we have the whole weekend and we're already at the spot where we're going to have all of our adventures.
I think what changed the most was my ability to travel and work. So a little bit about my story is I've been in healthcare, which means in the clinic, treating patients, very busy, very stressful, and the last couple years in management. So I decided, lifestyle change was definitely needed, and designing a different, more stress-free life was definitely appealing for the both of us. Thanks to him being in tech, found a career in Salesforce and studied up, got certified, and now I work fully remote. We have the ability to pack up and both of us can work from the road. And that's really what changed everything.
While we're working remotely, we can be very effective and productive, but it's really hard to beat being in the middle of a meeting and then taking a break and going on a hike or casting a fishing pole and then coming back and then finishing off the day.
We found balance, being able to work productively and also just enjoy adventures together, either a week at a time or just a few extra days.
A lot of these things are very individualized and they depend on what your own values are and what's important to you. And both of us value flexibility and freedom. And this is a wonderful time for people who do. Being able to have high-speed internet almost anywhere and most jobs being able to be just as effective no matter where you're at just is an incredible opportunity. All right, now we're gonna stop rambling. These last two are really what made it so that we can both work no matter where we're at to be able to have the adventures that we do. Tip number 4 is having plenty of internet options. It's a little bit obvious, but we have 2 different cell phone plans, one on Verizon and one on T-Mobile. That gives us 2 different networks to be able to pick from. We normally get to a campsite and we'll do a speed test on both of them and see if we're good to go for our video calls. And if not, we pull out the Starlink. This is one of the spots where we definitely need Starlink. If it weren't for Starlink, we don't have any internet. And so we're gonna set up Starlink really quick. It only takes a couple minutes to get Starlink out of the box and get it ready to go. Then you wait about 5 to 15 minutes. We have this little compass. We use this to be able to tell which way is north because it generally faces north, which in our case right now is that way.
We tend to keep it on this end of the trailer if possible, because then you're not worried about driving back and forth and accidentally hitting it, because that would be expensive.
So this plugs into power, and then the antenna plugs into that. Then you wait, good to go. But since we trust this location, we can just set everything up out here. And of course the Wi-Fi reaches plenty far enough to cover the camper.
We're frequenting one of our beautiful Harvest Host locations. We are kind of in the middle of nowhere, middle Alabama, and we almost always have this place to ourselves.
If you haven't already watched our other video where we stayed at this winery before, check it out, we'll link it below. At the time we're recording this, Starlink is about $150 a month, but we can pause it. So any month that we don't use it, we save $150 a month. What we normally do is we wait till we get to where we're going, and then once we get here, we check our cell phone reception and see if it's good enough, and then if it's not, we bring this out. Tip number 5, headsets with smart microphones. The smart microphone part is key. By that we mean a microphone that has the ability to extract just the voice and eliminate all the other background noise from the conversation.
In other words, you get to hear us talking and not everything else that's going on behind you.
Exactly. So this is what it's like, just natural, using the camera's built-in microphone. I think the quality of my voice is probably super high, but what happens when something noisy happens? This is the air conditioner on high, and you can probably tell that you can't hear me as well, maybe not at all. And then if we're doing anything else in the camper, like right now, Beekeeper's just messing with some stuff over by the cupboard, it picks it up loud and clear. Not good for a work call, but check out this difference. Now I'm on the Sony headset. The audio is not as pristine in production quality, but it pulls my voice out just awesomely. So now if we turn on the air conditioner, you might be able to tell that it's on, but it's not very distracting, and I can have a meeting and they can't tell that there's a loud air conditioner right next to me like before. Also, Beekeeper can be doing things over there, shuffling things around and things like that, and it filters that out as well. Overall, this gives me a worry-free experience, not having to worry about what the audio is like no matter where I'm at. It may not be the best, highest quality audio, but it is the most effective for being able to pull my voice out of any kind of noisy condition. These are becoming more and more available. They're using AI and machine learning to be able to do it. We'll leave a link to our favorite so far in the description below.
I think for real, the game changer for us through this whole process was the headsets, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people who does a ton of research before I buy something, and I couldn't even find reviews that reviewed the microphone's ability to cancel out things around us.
Yeah, I think most of the time when you look for headsets, you see the term noise cancellation, and that is definitely not the thing that made this possible.
So we called it smart microphone, but I think some of the companies call it voice isolation or something similar to that. And so far, the only ones that I found that will do it are this Sony over-the-ear headset that we showed you, as well as a newer released one that goes inside your ear. And then I think that there's one from Poly that is meant for people who are professionals that spend all day long on the phone. One of those kind of headsets.
Definitely the AirPods and the Google Pixel, what do they call it? Earbud?
Pixel Buds.
Pixel Buds, I always mess that up. They have decent noise cancellation, sounds good, but not that microphone that you need.
Thanks again for watching. If you liked this video or any of the others, we have a favor to ask. Please hit the subscribe button. I know everybody asked that, but it really will make a big difference.
And it will allow us to make even better videos in the future.